Right, well, like Walter Matthau once said, let the games begin. So we're going to work on these filter capacitors, changing them out. And these two are going to be the hardest ones. Over here in our bin, we have 4 more fresh ones. And I've been really thinking about how I'm going to pull these out. And the only way I can see to do this is to just unsolder a lot of these nodes here. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. And that would allow me possibly 6. That would allow me to swing the board out and get these capacitors out, because right now I don't want to pull too hard, obviously, but this is about all the room I've got. Now, we have the option, of course, of clipping these leads and putting in the new ones. But folks, I'll be honest with you, if I don't have to do that, I'm not going to do that. I'd rather go through the extra hard work to just know that the solder under there is the way it should be. And, you know, it's not going to kill me. It's just going to be a lot of extra work. So let's, I guess we'll just dive in. Now, well, I want to keep all these wires together, obviously. So we got our soldering iron. Now, sometimes what's best is you can just take something with a hook on it, or you can use tweezers, you know, whatever. We're just going to see what happens here. Don't really have a lot of surface area touching here. All right, let's see. I'm using up this solder on my stuff so that when I work on other people's, I've got some good Kester brand soldering, brand solder. Let's see. Sometimes fresh solder helps to heat up and loosen old solder joints. Bingo. Now we want to keep these together. There's several ways I could do that. Let's see, let's take some painter's tape. And put this tape around them, which will keep them all together. And we could also label them if we wanted to. All right, we got the first node out. Now here, we may get this out without adding any fresh solder, but it won't hurt to just a dab-a-do, yabba-dabba-do. Let's see if we can pull this transformer lead. I find it best to hardly ever pull with a with a finger. Man, I got burned the other day. Ooh, that thing hurt. My wife knew exactly what happened when it happened. She said, "Did you get burned?" I said, "Sure did." Wife intuition. All right, come. There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. Just beautiful. Yeah. Okay, now we got some solder to get off. Yeah. That's stuff you want to watch out for. We got a connection there, and we'll have to undo that. Well, let's see. While we're thinking about it, let's do it now. Maybe it won't happen again. Bingo. But I think it is touching. I can check the schematic and make sure later on. Okay. And to make sure we don't have any voltage in this. Ahead of time. I really don't want to do this, but I know practice makes perfect. Good practice makes perfect. So, but like I say, I want to get in up under this board. What else am I going to do? Well, they're coming out rather nicely, I will say. It's got a hairy trigger. It should be. Yeah, so we want to make sure before we put everything back that there is no continuity between any of these. Very, very important. Now this might be a little tricky. Got that one. Oh, and before we move any further, let's tape these others together. They came out, so we've got there we go. Now let's pull these. Well, push this wire back. we go. And if you think this is fun, wait till we got to put them all back in. But like I said, you don't, you know, and the logic tells you you don't get in this if you don't plan on doing the work. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. I can't really get that connected with the yellow, but we'll maybe remember that the yellows go together. And a lot of these colors are the same. Yeah, see, I can get up under there a little bit, but I'm still not home free, so. All right. Oh, it was fisting to come loose, and I let off the pressure. Okay, this. I'll break them one at a time. Maybe. Oh, right there. All right, is there any way I can get this orange and red stuck together? And then this orange up here will go with them. Yeah, go down there and stick on that. Why don't you? There we go. So, yep, still being held up, so. Bingo. Now, I think we can, yeah, we can access that, I think. Am I right? Yes. Thank you, Lord. All right. Yeah, those are together, those are together. That answers my first question. And we'll just make sure these aren't touching these two here. All right. So we've got to, let me put that down. We've got to make note, and Pat signed this. Pat, are you still out there with us? Right here, can you see that? Oh, no, not on the camera, you can't. Hang on. Right here, I don't know if the light's letting you see it, but Pat signed his or her name with a pencil, as there's a few more initials in here. This is either a repair initial, but since this all looks familiar, this all looks original, this may have been the person that assembled this board or installed it in the amp, or both. So, thank you, Pat. Great job here. May or may not still be with us. think Music Man amps were made between 74 and 84. They had a brief stint of reissues. Man, I wish they had kept making those, but they didn't. But anyway, our polarity, these are run in series, so you've got your positive on one. Let me make sure I'm telling you right. Yeah, the positive of one and the negative of the other, and then they both ground out. The positive and negative grounds out together on this side. So this puts them in series. I believe that's right. So we have got to remember what comes out first. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take this bottom one out and we'll put its positive over the way it was. So we'll do one at a time, keeping us from making a mistake on the polarity, because we don't want to blow anything up. Let's see, I'm making just, we'll see how this does. Now, on these circuit boards, you don't want to pull until the solder is melted. All right. Or honestly, what we could do, we can pull both of on this end. Let's do it like this. I mean, it's not a right or wrong way. What we'll do is start the new ones. Got our two new fresh ones, and we'll start the new ones in behind these so we don't get the polarity mixed up. Okay, now this is where, it's going to be a little tricky. They're pretty much the same length. So we want to face our, if we can, like this first one, the negatives on this side, so we want to, actually let's do this bottom one. The negatives facing to the outside. And we want to face this where another tech down the road or ourselves can actually know what's in here without having to guess. Let's try for something like that. Let's see it go on negative one that positives the other way, so it'd go just like that. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Then we'll cut these ends off a little bit, not all the way down, just some. Kind of like that. And check our length, and it's, whoa, our length is way over, so that's all right. Now, negative goes that way on this one, so we'll back up here. Like that. Yeah, something like that to do. So this first one, that should be a little better on the length. Yeah, somewhat. All right, now, I'm not going to worry about putting any silicone up under here, just because these are not going to move. They're, you know, these replacements are big enough. All right, so positive goes on this way. These arrows are pointing to negative, so this is our positive. Now what we've got to do is just insert it as far as you can in the new hole. That one didn't want to go. I just want this to look nice. Here we go. And I'm not worried about it drying right now. As a matter of fact, it's better if it doesn't, but if it does, that's fine too. So we'll go ahead and pull the lead out of this capacitor completely. There's that one out. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. All right. So now, back here on this side of this new capacitor, let's just make sure that our leads are well soldered in. So see, folks, we're getting somewhere. Cut off the excess. Now, if we're paying attention, there's no way we can get this wrong. Just doing one at a time and one side at a time. So, see, here's the old one. It's got the positive going this way. We got on the new one, the negatives going that way. So we know we're right on target. I'm gonna go ahead and clip a little bit off here now. So kind of going by memory, let's first set this thing. Now this way, our capacitor's gonna set this direction. Yeah, it's really hard to get these on here. They little boogers are bigger than the factory ones. Well, let's go ahead and take this old one completely out, because we know we got the other one in. We know this one's got to be just totally opposite, and that's not hard to figure out. Okay, so we'd want like something like this, but our leads are going to have to bend back just a little bit, because this one's going to have to stick out a little bit. It's going to pooch over the side. All right, so let's go ahead and make our bend. Well, what did I say about right there? So, okay, right across from this writing here. Is the way we'll do it. It don't have to be, you know, perfect, but we are trying to do a good job. Oh, we got, all right. Let's see if we can't just get both of these going up in here. That wants to be stubborn. Again, don't force it, because you can tear the traces on the circuit board real easy. So there we go on that one. Actually, we need to pull back just a little bit. Okay. I mean, minimal contact with this is really best. It's just kind of difficult to get this going right. Yep, lifted the trace. Man. What it is where I cut. Alright, we're okay as long as the trace doesn't come up much. I don't understand what in the world. Man, it sure messed that trace up, didn't it? It's not exactly sitting where I can, there we go. I can see it good. Alright, can we get through this time? Yes. I'll tell you what, let's put the iron down. Let's put some pressure on this trace. Oh! It kind of collapsed on the other side. Alright, now let's take the iron and get this other one. Come back on through. And it lifted there too. And yeah, alright, but we're okay, we're in both sides. That did not work the way I wanted it to. But we didn't tear anything. Man, I need this to sit where I can, like it, there it goes, like a minute ago. Yeah, I think that's all right. Turn the soldering iron off for now. Just clean up whatever this is. All right, now looking pretty good. This side's sticking little different than I'd like, but oh well. They're just almost. Anyway, almost visually perfect. I don't think these are going to move or anything. So now what we need to do is turn on our continuity checker. For something as hard to work on as this, I don't want to take any chances. So if we hear a beep where we shouldn't, we know we messed up. Now let's make sure that there's no continuity. Okay, that's good. Make sure that is. I'm gonna test on the back side of this capacitor. Yeah, so we got good grab there, or good contact. Yep. Okay, and now let's make sure there's no crossing over where there shouldn't be. Yeah, those are hooked together. And then those are, okay. So we're good. We don't have any continuity problems. Nothing's shorted out to anything else. So let's work at getting this back in. All kind of stuff up under there. I mean, that's a job now. It's not something to be taken lightly, you know. It took a while to do all this. Let's see if I can just. I'm not going to tighten it down yet. I'm just going to snug it up for now. All right, everybody. This is part 2 on the capacitors here. Sorry they had to leave you hanging on the other video, but this was a really long job. But we're just about through with it. I made me a diagram because the pictures are on my phone, but this diagram is going to help me finish up the rest of the way. And as you can see, I've already fully resoldered these 2 nodes up here, but we got 3 more. And due to the right here in the corner, due to how short some of these leads are, I'm going to go ahead and get this connection soldered up, and then we'll go back and put our 3 yellow wires in this connection, and then we'll finish up with the last one here. In this instance, I could raise the board. I could unscrew it because it's not fully fastened down now. But I just decided to go ahead and using a mixture of a solder sucker gun and some desoldering braid, I went ahead and cleaned these holes out pretty good, just so we can slip the wire in there and then put the solder in there. So let's go ahead and we've got, all right, 2 greens and a white, and then this orange wire's got to go in this corner. So we've actually got 4 wires that has to go in this node here. So you can bet this is going to be fun. Main thing is trying to, there we go. So we just have to work our wires. Actually, my little pliers might work better on this little job. Well, they just hopping out like frog legs in a hot pan. And really, this is a lot to put in one of these little eyelets here. Well, they cut these leads awfully short. Well, we gotta make sure all 4 of them will go in. Man, they just all come out of there. Okay. I didn't have the end of it suited very well for this, so maybe now. Yeah, this is wanting to fight me. Well, we're gonna have another long video if this don't want to do right. we get the big one in there, and then we'll put these other ones in there. I don't know. Trying to taper the end of it. Try and get these wires where they'll put pressure on the joint. Alright, just one more to go. Thing is that we know it come out of there, so whew. Yeah, that's a lot of work. That's one of those patience testers right there, buddy. Now, it's a little hairy getting the soldering iron in here. Yeah, I guess that'll work. All right. So now I'll do these others same way. So we've got these 3 yellow wires. I bet they all just go in fine. Yep. Well, this last connection is really going to be fun. And let's see where I did. Oh. Gonna have to weigh that down with something. third yellow wire. Yeah, I like to bugger it up, didn't I? You were probably looking at that the whole time. All right. Pull that over the orange wire. Yeah, that's gonna do it. I can't come in from there, can I? Make sure it's sealed good. Man, sure did melt on that. That's our BIAS. I think it's 46 volt supply, something like that. Well, let's see, I might as well. Up till now, everything has gone good. I hadn't done any damage to the wires. All right, so let's get this off real quick. Put some heat shrink on it. And we gotta be careful. This thing puts out a flame. Okay, so now all we have left is our 3 green wires. And again, just to help give some cooperation here. Let's see. Alrighty. Wow, folks, I can't believe we are through. It don't look that bad. I wish it looked a little better, but considering the scope of the job, I guess it's not bad at all. Everything's in place. Check that we didn't leave something. Okay. Well, we should be good there. All right, so that's all tightened down. I'm going to clamp those two together. So we just got 2 more capacitors to go. You can see this one here in the screen. Okay, so we're not going to put any more of these ties on just yet because we still have to take this board off. So I tell you what, let's make another video just doing the next or the last 2 capacitors. So stick with me. We'll be heading into part 3. All right, folks, part 3, these capacitors. So we're going to replace this one and this one. Now I've already set that bias pot, so I don't want to disturb that at all if I can get away with it. So right now in 2, I'm going to leave, this is our reverb and tremolo. Let's see, I think it's just like an on and off from a pedal, which I don't have a pedal with this amp, and I don't need it anyway. But we have quite a few screws to take out. But let's see. I'm actually wondering if I should take those two off. Anyway, we'll look at it once we get there. We certainly had some heat across those diodes. We've got to pay attention to polarity. We got 2 fresh Vishays. All right, so on this one, positive's facing that way, and on the other one, positive's going the opposite direction. There has been some heat across that capacitor. There's some tinge. The thing is that, oh, look at that. It's like Charbroil. I'm going to get a Hoover vacuum cleaner in here. Boy, I hope it's not. It looks like a lifted trace. Probably is. I've been there. Yep. I'm going to have to get the art down pat on getting these out without doing that. I mean, it doesn't take much. You know, it just really doesn't. All right, let's start with the positive end on this capacitor. Boy, it come out easy. The thing we have to remember when we cut our new capacitor, where's it at? We want to make sure our ends that we cut on our new capacitor is smooth. That's what messed me up in the first video. That's why the trace got disturbed like it did. I mean, they're real finicky anyhow, but if the end here is not smooth, it's going to likely push the trace up, and we don't want that. All right, positive's going that way on this one, so we want the positive on the left of our screen this time. Okay. So about here. Okay, now let's cut the legs a little bit. And this time we're going to try to smooth up the end of the legs, and hopefully we don't push a trace up. All right, positive's that way there, so negative this way. I just don't get this. Well, there we go. Bingo. Thank you, Lord. And I don't think we lifted anything. Let's just make sure that we got that right. The positive on the old one's going that way. The negative of the new one's going that way, which puts the positive that way. See, that's on our ground. That's easy to spot. Oh, that's easy right there. All right, she's free and clear of the old ones. Now, the positive, so a negative is facing that way on this top one, the other way on the bottom, so that would be right. Want to make sure we dress up our ends there. Alrighty, folks. That's all of those. So now we got to find these little one of these two. Was it two of these little? Here's one right here. One more, I think. Yeah. Let's put our jack. So yeah, just making sure these aren't twisting a lot. Okay, let's review. So we've got all 5 new caps in here, and we're just going to double check. I don't see any wires. It's not hooked back to anything. I'm not going to go overboard with the ties, but certainly enough to keep things in place. I think that's good. So I guess I'll put it on the variac here in a minute and make sure I don't have any overcurrent or anything, and try to clean up some of this before I turn it on. In the future, we'll come back to this amp, and I'll tell you why. We're going to replace this stock Sylvania fusible link with a more modern one with the same specs, but it won't be quite like this. It's, from what I understand, it's more reliable. we're going to change the death cap. Notice I didn't say we're going to eliminate the so-called death cap. You can just barely see it under here, this brown capacitor. It looks like these others. It's the same kind of capacitor. This is actually not a death cap. The only way it becomes a death cap is if it shorts out. If it shorts, you know, the hot or the neutral side to ground, yeah, and you touch the chassis, yeah, that could be the end, or it would feel like it. But I believe there's only been one case ever recorded about that happening. And actually the reason why these caps are in here like they are, running to ground, is for radio frequency, radio frequency type deal, to suppress that. So I have did some research, and I have found certain type of capacitors that will actually, if they fail, they will fail, I believe it is open, and there's no way that positive or neutral could ever go to ground through it. So let's see, what else do I want to do? May just be those two things. Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. Oh, and actually, Music Man calls for a 5 amp fuse. Let me get you where you can see where I'm talking about here. 5 amp fuse. You know, I've actually been thinking about going to a little bit lesser value. Now, don't ever put a higher value than the factory calls for, but you can go lower, a lower slow blow fuse. Music Man in this one calls for a 5 amp. I thought maybe trying a 2 amp slow blow, 3 amp slow blow. And the reason is because I'm never going to run the high side on this amp. I'm only going to run the low side. I'm not going to be putting 725 volts to the plates of my tubes. I just don't want to do that. And I don't need the volume anyway. And some of that may explain why there was so much heat here at one time. But anyway, we're going to put this on Variac. I'm going to test it out and everything. And thank you for sticking with me. I'm real proud of my work here. I just got to, tidy up a little bit and everything. But hopefully everything's wired up right and we're good to go. So thanks for sticking with me here. Thanks for, please come back and check us out for our next posting. So thank you and God bless.